welcome back to my channel, Open the Door. This is episode 117, Unlocking the Truth. Behind the mask of anger is fear. So what if I told you that much of the anger that we see is just fear wearing a mask? Could be fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of vulnerability, or even fear of failure. And this fear can trigger anger in us because it feels safer and more powerful to show anger and or rage than to admit our fear. Anger takes over as a defense mechanism and a survival strategy, protecting us from exposing the softer feelings of fear or guilt or grief. Social conditioning teaches us that fear equals weakness and anger equals strength. And our natural instincts of fight or flight kick in, and fight is activated and fear becomes translated into anger. So really anger is acting as a secondary emotion in response to the primary emotion, which is often fear. And then we stay stuck in this secondary emotion of anger, and we block the healing that's needed when the root cause isn't addressed. So the door to healing opens when we peel back the anger and acknowledge the primary feeling, which, as I said, is often fear. Here's some examples of when anger serves as a protector and fear is the quiet truth underneath or behind the mask. So here's some examples. Road rage. That's anger covering fear of being harmed, losing control of your vehicle, or being disrespected. Fear of abandonment can show up as relationship conflicts, angry accusations against others, which is really hiding the fear of being unloved, feeling like we're not enough, or even the fear of abandonment. There's fear of others' perceptions, when there's an opinion that they may have, and we lash out at a coworker, say, for example, over a mishap or some mistake that was made at work. And this fear of being seen as failing or incompetent causes us to lash out in anger instead of admitting our fault if we have made some type of mistake. Here's another example. Fear for our children's safety. Yelling instead of expressing worry, for example, towards teens coming home late. And the fear is really for their harm or even the loss of their life. In social situations, we go on the offense with criticism and mockery at someone when there's a fear that we hold of rejection or being judged by the group. So we deflect attention by going on the offense and criticizing others. And then there's the personal boundaries where we may need space and others get angry and they're asking, why are you pushing me away? And this is coming from their fear of abandonment, rejection, or loss of connection with you. So here's a couple prompts to think about for you to reflect on that have to do with this anger, blocking fear. The first question is, what am I truly afraid of in this moment? The next question is, pause and ask yourself, in these moments of anger, am I angry? Or am I scared? The next prompt for reflection is, if I set aside my anger for a moment, what am I really feeling underneath? Is it fear, or is it shame, sadness, insecurity, or disappointment? When someone else lashes out, here's another prompt for reflection. When someone else lashes out, can I look for the fear underneath their reaction? And then the last prompt is, what patterns do I notice? What situations trigger my anger most often? So here's some tips for you and some steps to take of how to move out of the anger and face the fear and get to the primary emotion so you can get to the root of the issue. So the first step to take when you notice anger arising is pause and breathe. By doing that, you're grounding yourself and you're interrupting the cycle. So take 3 slow breaths to ground yourself before reacting, which helps calm your nervous system. With each exhale, soften any tightness or the heat you feel from the anger. So step 1 is pause and breathe, grounding yourself for 3 breaths. Step 2, Name it to shrink it. So this deals with awareness and you asking yourself, what am I really feeling underneath the anger? And what am I afraid might happen? Is it rejection, failure, abandonment, being misunderstood, losing control? Whatever that underlying issue is, acknowledge it. So number 1, ground yourself. Number 2, be present and aware and name and acknowledge the underlying feeling. Number 3, get curious, not critical. So go deeper and not be asking yourself or saying to yourself, I shouldn't feel this way, but rather asking, what is this fear trying to tell me? Fear is often a signal of something you need. It might be feeling of safety, understanding, reassurance, or even stronger boundaries. After getting curious and going deeper to ask, what is the fear trying to tell you? Then you want to express safely what you're afraid of. You can do that through journaling or grounding practices, like walking, meditation, and creative outlets like art and music. Safely expressing your fear. And then reframe the fear. This is step 5. Hold the fear with compassion. So asking yourself, what reassurance do I need in this moment? What will make me feel safe? And say silently, it's okay to feel this fear. I am safe in this moment. And then visualize wrapping that fear in a warm blanket like you're comforting a scared child. Step 6 is communicate with the core emotion. So peeling back the anger and finding what this fear is related to. And then speaking from that fear opens the door of communication for yourself. And stepping away from the anger slams shut the door of opening to your inner self. This can have to do with dealing with others as well in their anger. But this is more about yourself. So the next time you fly off the handle and get angry at something or someone, pause, take a few moments, and try to identify the underlying emotion behind that fear, and then give it some respect, give it the attention it's calling for, and try to move forward. This is our episode for today. I hope you're doing well. I made my goal of getting an episode back out to you in 3 or 4 days, and I'm going to continue to do that. So in the meantime, stay well, and be sure to leave me a like or a comment. I would appreciate that very much. I'm trying to grow my channel. It's been slow and steady, but I'm ready for it to take off. So help me do that. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you again very soon. I do wish you peace, love, and light. And that's it for now. I'll see you next time. Bye.